Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is a full review and it's Amouage Black Iris. I purchased a few samples from the Amouage website a little while ago, so I've been testing out Black Iris. I was not a fan of the original Interlude. It was a fragrance that made me feel sick. I had to scrub it off my skin. And because my reaction was so ugh, I never wore it since. So it has been a long time, probably, I don't know how many years, many years since I smelled the original Interlude, man. So I'm not the best judge on comparing to the original. However, I noticed that my taste, my palate has changed over the years. So I feel like if I was to smell Interlude Man today, I probably wouldn't have as strong a reaction to it. I think it would be okay. And judging by this one was okay, and I don't think it was a million miles away from the original Interlude. So we'll get into a full review of specifically this one rather than a comparison video. I'll spray it on my hand as a reminder of the kind of opening. The iris, or the violet leaf and orris note is listed on the note breakdown. That combination, this kind of irisy, orris, violety kind of combination, is most noticeable within the first hour. It doesn't go massively powdery, it doesn't smell like lipstick, it doesn't go in that direction. It just kind of makes it a bit more palatable, rounds the edges, softens it up, without going like full on, like I say, powder or like lipstick or anything. It doesn't do that, but you get the sense of the slight orrisy, violety. You do get kind of a violety tone, even though it says violet leaf. You get something a little bit almost, I wouldn't say full on Parma violet, but I think because of the sweetness behind this fragrance as well, you get something that goes in that direction of a little bit violety, a little bit orrisy, but again, without being too powdery or lipsticky. So apart from the kind of orris accord that is in the opening of this, what I get from this essentially is a sweet, resinous, woody, balsamic kind of fragrance. This is full on sticky sweet resins for the most part on my skin. The resins listed are olibanum, myrrh, labdanum. There's also vanilla. I would say a healthy dose of vanilla. It's quite sweet, more sweeter than I remember. There's woods listed, sandalwood, cedar, you get a little bit of that as well. Oud is listed. I don't get anything that smells like oud personally in this. And there's also patchouli listed, and I think you get a little bit of that as it starts to dry down, which is more, I would say, textual. It helps. Sometimes when I smell patchouli and dry downs, I get kind of a rough, I describe it sometimes as being scratchy, and I can only describe it in terms of texture. It's not massively green or earthy or hippie smelling, because, you know, like raw patchouli oil, but it adds kind of a texture that's just a little bit scratchy, a little bit rough, a little bit, that's the only way I can describe it in terms of texture wise, and I feel like you start to get that a little bit more in the dry down. But like I say, predominantly this thing is huge, resinous, woody, sweet concoction. Mixing with all those resins and the sweetness, there's a hint of this, I say hint, is actually quite noticeable, a leather accord, which might just be coming from, rather than being an actual leather accord that's added to the perfume, it could be a byproduct of the combination of resins and woods giving that effect. But whatever it is, you do smell something akin to leather. And to me, it smells like a smooth brown leather, a deeper brown kind of leather. Sometimes when you smell perfume, for some reason my brain goes to like, well, that's definitely black leather, this is brown leather, and this is suede. This one to me is brown leather, and I appreciate that is very, I don't know how my brain kind of decides what brown leather smells like as opposed to black leather, but there you go. Maybe individual brains will pick that up differently, but in general you're going to smell a little bit of a leathery kind of note in this, resins, sweetness, And as it dries down, a little bit of patchouli and the more kind of woody tones coming through a little bit. It doesn't go in the realm of smelling churchy to me. Churchy fragrances I associate more with a heavier dose of frankincense, which this doesn't have. This is more the sticky, I get more of the sticky resins of the myrrh and the labdanum personally in this, mixing with the vanilla. And so it doesn't go in the direction of smelling like you're in a church. For me personally, I don't get that kind of vibe. For me, it's not even a full-on incense fragrance, so to speak. It's incensey, but it's kind of on the amber side of incense, if that makes sense. Altogether, the fragrance didn't change much on my skin. After it starts to tone down from that opening where you get kind of hints of a violety, oracey kind of very smoothed out kind of opening that kind of helps give, it goes into this combination of resins, leather, sweetness, woodiness, and then as it dries down, a little bit more patchouli-fied, if that's a word. And yeah, from the kind of mid to the dry down, there's no massive changes with this, on my skin at least. It just kind of mellows out and it's incredibly long lasting. Although if we talk about performance for this one, it's definitely a colder weather fragrance, autumn, winter, probably more in the evening. And although the sillage and projection didn't feel massively beast mode, so to speak, on my skin, it is very, very long lasting. I would say around 8 to 9 hours, it's getting close to the skin as a skin scent. But I could smell this thing 26, 27 hours later, over 24 hours, it was still a skin scent. I could still easily smell it on my hand. And the dry down, very pleasant, very nice. You get this kind of woody, amber, sweet concoction that is just lingers forever. So very long lasting and quite a pleasant dry down. There's no kind of harshness in the dry down, very smooth. That sweetness holds on right through all the way to over 24 hours. And I think that dollop of sweetness just makes it more tame, a little bit, you know, less rugged and crazy. That sweetness just makes it a little bit more wearable and more enjoyable. A little bit like the way that big dose of vanilla in something like L'Air de Desert Marocain by Tower makes that wearable and enjoyable. Whereas if it didn't have that, then it would be super dry, resinousy, spicy, without the comfort and the tastiness of the vanilla. I think the vanilla helps make it, so to speak, and with this is kind of the same. Without that dollop of sweetness, it wouldn't be as enjoyable to wear. The sweetness makes it easier to enjoy. In general, I would say this is completely unisex. If you're a woman that likes strong, resinousy, sweet fragrances, then you'll probably enjoy it. I didn't completely love this one for my personal taste, but I definitely didn't feel sick. I definitely didn't have to wash it off. I quite enjoyed the mid and the dry, even the opening. To be honest, all of the fragrance is not bad. There's no part of it where I'd massively criticize anything. I think it's quite nicely blended. It smells quite pleasant. The only downside for some people might be kind of the linear nature of it and how long it lasts. The 27 hours of smelling kind of the same thing might be a bit boring or a bit enough for you, like you get sick of it. That's the only kind of criticism that I could sort of think to bring to this, is that it lasts maybe too long and doesn't go through a whole lot of changes. But other than that, if you like that kind of thing, you'll enjoy it. And that's it. If you tried it, let me know your thoughts. I'm sorry I can't compare it to the original. It's been many, many years since I smelled the original, and the memory wasn't good, which is why I never went back to it. But as far as this goes, I think quite nice, solid fragrance, if you like that kind of thing. And I will see you again in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye. Stay safe.